this is what we're going to change today. It's the Flexi tap behind a standard bathroom sink. As you can see, the hot tap, the Flexi hose often gets a bit rusted and corroded, and this one's starting to bulge out. If you can see there, starting to bulge out, not far away from splitting. It's the sort of job that if you've bought a new house, hasn't really been looked after that well, can often come up, or if you've been in a house for a few years, it's not really done by neglect or anything. It's just a case of that's how it goes when it's on the hot tap, because if you look at the cold one, absolutely fine. So this is the one that we are going to change over today. What you're going to need to do is head down to your local retailer, and you should be able to find yourself a Flexi hose. You're probably looking between £2 and £7 for one of these. Often come in a pack of 2 in case you've got to do both. But this is what we're going to change over today. So one of the first things you've got to do is obviously we need to make sure that we've turned the water off and there's nothing coming through. Right, all happy with that. So as long as there's no water coming through, we're all good. And then we're going to get ourselves a little basin. And we're going to position it under here. And make sure that anything that's left in the tap when we undo it goes into the basin, if we can catch it. Now, on other videos, you're going to see they've obviously got loads of room to do this. But realistically, not all of us have giant bathrooms. So it's a bit more harder to get in. Right, so what we've got to do is up here, right at the very top, if we've got, so up the top here, we've got a nut that needs releasing, and it's near impossible to get tools in here. So sometimes you find if they're corroded away enough, you can obviously get in there with your hand. But what you may need is a wrench or pliers, and then you should be able to get hold of these and undo all of this. So with this one, I found that give the tap a good push, starts to come loose because it's so worn away underneath. And then underneath, if I show you again, you can see that this top nut here is starting to come loose, and that's what we've got to undo. So what we're going to do is you're going to get a wrench, an adjustable grip, and we're going to undo it this way. Have your tub ready, just in case there's any excess water that comes out, and any towels. As long as you turn the water off and drain the tap, you shouldn't find too much comes out. There you go. Once the nut's undone, you'll find that this just pulls away from the top. And if you've managed to loosen the tap as well, put them there for a sec, and you'll find it won't come out. So here we go. So use the wrench to undo the top part. The top part is just a case of you've got to get the wrench up in that gap, hook it around the nut at the top, and then if you push the tap round, you find that come loose, and then the rest of it can be done by hand. This is on the other side, this ring is on the other side of the tap. You can unscrew that one, and then the tap will come free. You can see here, it needs a good old clean. If we give it a good clean up, it doesn't need a new part or anything, then you find that the tap grips better and stays in place. So we've given this a bit of a clean up, cleaned up the other part, and then we've got our washers ready to go back on. So it's going to be the same as usual. This goes on the other side and then tightens up from there. So once we've got the tap back on with the new washer, then we've got to put this back on. You can use the original bolt, otherwise you have to take the bottom pipe out. And then you've got to tighten the nut on there, and then the clip at the top, you obviously have to tighten that as well. So that's all in place. Now to turn it back on. Then once it's all connected, I'm going to turn this little screw. Opens up the valve in the pipe. Turn the water back on, and you've got running water.